Hey, this is John Young. Today I'm looking at the Hercules Impulse. This is the T7. This is the controller that has been released by Hercules here that a lot of people are talking about. I've had one here now for a week, and I've been playing with it. It's been on the deck here. I think it's up to about 30 hours of runtime to test it out and make sure. Because truth be told, this is going to be one of those honest videos here. This is the second one. The first one we got it in and used it for a number of hours. Took it to a show, and it basically died. Nothing you could not control anything with the. You basically had a DJ here. The audio still passed through, but we couldn't do anything else, so it went back. This is a new one, and this one's been working really quite well. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things I like and 5 things I don't like. So this is going to be something for you to be able to look at and maybe help decide if you want to make the investment. Now, one of the first appeals of this board is that it has functionality you would find in much more expensive boards, but it's really Hercules' first board that kind of jumps into the actual getting out there mobile DJ market with the balanced outputs, the XLR outputs that go to your powered speakers, and then of course you have a mic input, so it can become that controller for a lot of DJs to do what they need to do. So with that being said, let's jump into this. Wait before we go too far. Price point. It has a lot of the functionality of the $1,000 plus controllers, but it's not there yet. I'll get to some more things about price and how this kind of evens out. So let's jump into it. Let's start on the positive side. The 5 things I like. First thing, I love the size. This isn't too big, but it's not so small that it looks like a toy. This, with the platters and such, it looks like it's a real performance tool, and I love the size. It's a nice size. It's easy to carry around. We've got the Odyssey bag, or the Odyssey case right here for it, and it makes it so it's really quite easy to take to different space. Whether I'm going into the house or if I'm going to a show, it makes it easy to transport. So I love the size. Second is the motorized platters. This is really my first experience of being able to play more consistently with motorized platters. We did some things with some other companies where we get to touch them at a couple of trade shows and did a few things, but really until you have it on your own little studio table and can really work through it, you don't get an idea of how motorized platters are really, really cool. So I love the motorized platters. Number 3 is I love that it was quick and easy. If you saw my other video, quick and easy to hook up to Virtual DJ. I'm a Virtual DJ user, and it was like bing, bing, couple of things, and it's good to go. I didn't have to do any downloading. I didn't have to do anything special. That and this are all synced together, and it's good to go. So I absolutely love that. Speaking of the platters, one of the things I like about that is that there are actual little albums that you can replace this and you can customize this. So there's a little, it's just like a true record can be put on here. And I like that because then I can do some customization and I can have it where it could be a variety of different things. I mean, I literally could get little pieces printed that were the couple for the day, whatever. I can do some neat things with that. So I really like that customization to be able to make the platters my own for whatever I'm doing. And the final thing is I like that this unit has the ability to replace the faders and such in here. There's many times that you get a board and it's really not user repairable. This particular one is, whereas you can replace there's an Inno fader option for this, and there's a premium Hercules option for this, and you can replace that. I like that from the standpoint it's nice to be able to do a little fixing on it. This is where we start to bridge into the list of things I don't like, and we'll keep that one in mind because that one I think is going to be down towards the very bottom of it. First thing I'm not a big fan of is it only has one mic input. I am a mobile DJ, and if I'm just playing in a club or if I'm playing for a party and I only need one mic because no one else is talking, okay, that's one thing. But for most of the events I do, it's myself. I'm maybe introducing, and now, ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor tonight for the 40th birthday. And then the microphone, the 40th birthday person has a microphone. Hey, thanks, John. And now they're going to talk, that kind of stuff. That goes on, and you can't do that with only one mic. It just doesn't work that way. So one mic input, not excited about that. Just along with the mic input, it doesn't have phantom power, but then none of the boards really do. None of the controllers have phantom power, so that's really not. Next one, number 2, and what I don't care for is the faders in the sliders. They feel really they just don't feel very good. They feel like this is where they went cheap, and this is when it can be replaced. You can put Inno faders in here and it becomes really nice and smooth. But these feel like something that I would expect on a $100 board, not a $600+ board. I'm really disappointed. And I realize they have a premium version of it. I think that they would have been better off putting the premium stuff in here and then charging another $50 for it. I think that would have been a much happier, or $100 or whatever it would have been, than to have something that, again, feels like it's a really cheap and chintzy. None of these are, these aren't as quite as bad, but these three are I just don't like them. Don't like the feel of them whatsoever. Another thing I don't care for is I'm a big one of using the sampler to be able to put kind of a bass, the bass drum under some of the songs, and there isn't a knob I can really easily utilize for the sampler. Now, somebody gave me a workaround where basically they said is that once you hit the sampler and engage it, they had MIDI mapped their microphone volume to be the sampler volume. I would rather have something that was more of a dedicated. Really, of all the knobs and functionality, that's the one I'm missing the most, is a knob to control the sampler volume. I would love to see that, and I really miss that. Number 4 of the things I'm not too excited about is that it's really dark. There's a little bit of lighting going on here. The play pause, they kind of glow, but there's really not much light that goes on. Even when it's starting up, there's a couple of little flickers here. There's a couple of things you see, but you don't have it lit up and it doesn't look cool. And part of the thing when I would be doing dances where I've got younger people coming up and they see all the lights on a big board, they're like, ooh, that looks really cool. You know what all that does? Ooh, yeah. I'm not going to get that with this because, yeah, and I suppose maybe the platters are going to be the thing that with them spinning, and if I have something cool there. But even that, the platters are dark, so we don't have that. So that's kind of a disappointment. Let's continue on with the platters. The final thing that I'm not overly excited about is that I would like to be able to see some of the information from in the middle of the platter would be great, or somewhere here, just because that's a thing I like to use. There's really nothing down here that tells me that I'm nearing the end of a song. Obviously, I know most of my songs, so it's not a big deal. But there's times where you're doing some things and you're busy, and and all of a sudden you catch the flashing as it's getting towards the end, or you see there in a countdown that you're getting lower. There's nothing to that. I mean, I'm up here. I'm definitely having to watch up here. So I wish there was some way to be able to see that more on the board itself. So there's my list. Now the question becomes is this a controller that I would recommend for different situations out there? I think in the right situation it has a spot. For some who are going to go out there and are just doing 1 or 2 shows a month, you're not doing a lot of things, and you want to get into something that's going to be under $1,000, this is definitely an option for you. If you only need 1 microphone, that's definitely an option for you. If you need 2, no. If you need to have something that has more, 4 decks, this may not be the best option for you, because changing it on the fly doesn't work quite as well as some of the other boards out there. The reliability is definitely a concern. There's other boards out there that are more money, that have been out for longer, that have been in the field longer, and have got a better track record, is really the best way I would describe it. If that isn't a big thing for you, if you're using this and you have a small, tiny little thing for a backup, I mean, I've got a couple little party to go type controllers that could be a backup. If you had that, this could be definitely one that you could use, and it might last you forever. We don't know. It's just that this hasn't been in the field for 5 years yet. It's been out there, and there's a lot of there's a percentage. It could be a third of the people have an issue with it. It could be, I don't know, but I've heard stories. So just beware of that. That some people have had a really good experience with it, some not so much. For my personal use, the lack of a knob to be able to handle the sampler, which there is a workaround, that is a big part, starts to start. And the second is only having 1 mic input. Those 2 things combined, even though I love this feel, this tactile feel, and the weight of the motorized platters and how they work, and when they're spinning, that I can go and I can be doing my thing, and I can bring those, and I can go and slow them down a little bit. I can do that. I can't do that with the other stuff, the other ones out there. So that is a cool thing, and that's a feature I really love. My next controller after having this is going to have motorized platters. It's so cool to be able to have that, and that feel of that weight on there. I didn't know I was going to love it this much. So for the right situation, I think this could be an option for most mobile DJs out there, wedding DJs. I don't think I could recommend this as a unit to be your main for your wedding, your mobile wedding shows. A backup, probably, if you use it like in the office to practice with, you can set your cue points. There's the shift, so you can erase your cue points and do your different things. And it has a lot of functionality. I did learn what the things in the middle do with the effects, and I do like that, where you've got your song and it's playing and doing its thing. And I have the backspin set, so you can go boom, and you can just activate your backspin. It's kind of cool. So there's different mixing methods that you could put in there for the effects and use that. And then I like that toggle switch after using it. I really do kind of like that. So there's positives. It's close, but it isn't quite what I would be able to wholeheartedly recommend for wedding DJs out there. So we'll put links in the description below so you can go check this out online, the Hercules website and such, so you can get an idea of where this at, where the price is and such on that. And if you have any questions, put those down in the comment section down below, and I will do my best to answer them for you. This is John Young. Thanks for watching.